And the time starts when you start.
Hi, I'm Tajay Cox. I like to be called TJ, and this was just a little bit about me. I personally I came in undeclared because I had no real idea what I wanted to do for a major. I had some small ideas, but over the course of this year, I kind of wanted to see about doing a financial major with an economics minor, and just some things that I personally feel that I'm like decent at is number one is I love planning. Following a schedule is like one of the best things in my opinion. It allows for everybody to like have fun, but also not be like not have any idea of what they're doing. While a little spontaneity is fun, there's always something desired to be following a schedule. But just some fun things about me is that I have to say mint chocolate chip ice cream is the best ice cream. There is no debate in my mind. I love music. It's something I grew up with. My mother and I used to sing like look at little like Motown classics as a kid, and I just branched off from there with like music, like instruments, and just a lot of other different things. But so these are the expectations for what it means to be a director of finance. But I feel like just kind of can just go to what I personally have done in terms of leadership positions. In high school, I was the leader of my little group for a STEM club project, which was we had to create a little ecosystem which had pollutants and we were to filter it out. And as a leader, I was the one who dealt with most of like, what are we buying for this? How are we going to go about this? And then I had my senior capstone where we helped out with like we made a newsletter, guest speakers and all that. And so far recently I was a VP of finance for my Harrington Community Council. So that was something I really enjoyed and really helped me out. But what I really want to do as director of finance is to help everybody help UD feel like a home. And to do that, I want to be able to help provide the finances necessary to do that for students, create those fundraising opportunities and things so students don't have to be weighed down by like financial restraints or as many. And I also want to be somebody who can be there to help out other like community councils, students, just with anything that they would need. And one idea I had was definitely to introduce a ideas seminar type deal where like each of the community councils, it'd just be like a huge gathering and we all just talk about like ideas and plans in the future and everybody could give like their feedback and maybe even advice or even different ideas and collaborate together and things like that to introduce a more, I guess, homey type feel. Like all in all, I just want UD to be people like I want people to see UD as a home that I've come to see it as. And I had this quote I found from John F. Kennedy, and it was something that really stuck with me because I considered it to be I guess, sort of what I personally would call leadership in a way, because while we are in college, like, we're having that experience, we're also learning, not only academically, but learning them, like, just socially and, like, learning how to live with that newfound sense of independence and knowing that, like, this is my big step before I'm off in the big real world. So I feel like while we're not only learning to be better people and students, we're also learning to be better leaders in whatever field that we might go to. And heading back to my goals, another thing of what I meant by being a resource is not only to help people out with like, financing things and things of that nature, but I also wanted to be somebody that people could come to if they need help with pretty much anything, as long as I was able to help them. Just, I want to be a resource for our fellow students and like fellow council members as well. And that really wraps it up. I'm sorry it wasn't the longest, but I like being very like concise and to the point. Yep. So thank you all so much for everything.
Of course. So now we will be moving on to a 5-minute question and answer period with the pre-prepared questions that I mentioned. So the first question is, the RSA Executive Board is composed of 9 individuals that work collaboratively to develop opportunities and communities based around our 2 values, programming and advocacy. As a member of the Executive Board, how do you envision supporting these values if elected?
To support those values, I would I would envision a lot more, I guess, collaborative effort together because advocacy is something that can be done when one's lonesome, but I feel like it's best done with groups of people working together for something that they all wholeheartedly believe in. So for me, I guess I would try and push forth a sense of community and camaraderie, at least so that the programming and advocacy could come, I guess, in a more powerful way. It's hard to phrase it, but I guess in general, I just approach it with teamwork and working with others is like the main forefront of what I want to get across. To
Thank
do
you, teacher.
that,
Oh, sorry, keep going.
well, no, I was just thinking that to do, like the main way to do that would probably be just working together and like planning a lot of things together. Like from my idea, like just the biggest thing was trying to organize more fundraisers that everybody could participate in with like local areas around campus.
Awesome, thank you. The second question is, an important aspect of the role of Director of Finance of the RSA is the development and maintenance of a functional budget. How can you utilize your prior experience to aid the financial success of RSA if elected?
I guess I would just say more about, I guess, my confidence in my skills with budgeting because I've always been one to be not really a penny pincher, but it's like I like to plan out budgeting because it just sort of, I guess for me it started like around high school time because I always found like an interest in money and finance and things like that because I found it interesting to think about like the way that or like how to best make it work. But I've always been one to help out people with their financial situations, like around help them plan out a little budget. In fact, like it's a little thing, but like my mother, she calls me her own little accountant because I always help her out with planning out for like, oh, what big purchases, things like that. I always provide my input. And I found like enjoyment in helping people when it comes to like helping them like organize or give thoughts about like maybe what they could do with their finance, things like that. So like over the course of like, I guess maybe around my high school career, I've kind of always been enveloped with hearing about, talking about, and just working with, I guess, finances. So I figured that doing this would help not only I'd be able to help people out with my skill set, but also gain more experience as well.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much.